this is your first time, hello, welcome in. Today I really felt the need and necessity to make one of these videos because I haven't in a while, right? So if you've been waiting on one of these from me, I apologize. The time is definitely divine and you're catching this when you're supposed to, obviously anytime otherwise, but I really felt the call. So before I hit record, I asked Spirit, okay, Spirit, what is the main head of conversation that we're going to be having here? And the grounding force and guiding light to this card pull today is hope and clarity. So if you've been looking for clear messages or clarity around something, or you've been really maybe even using that word hope more than often lately, or you just feel a necessity to bring in hope and clarity into your life, this is going to be a pull for you. Of course, I haven't seen any of the cards yet, but I will start you off with each deck and the charms that we have here. So if you are drawn to this first stack here, this is the coin, or if you're drawn to the coin, you will be for, pardon me, pile number one. I'm getting over a little bit of a sickness, so if you hear me cough, I do apologize. Excuse me. So stack number two, this is going to be your charm here. If you're drawn to that charm, you're stack number two. And this third pile, stack number three, you have this guy, or if you're drawn to this B charm, you're pile number three. So if you need to pause the video and ruminate on it for a split second or two or a moment or however long, allow yourself to do so. Ask your inner awareness or your guides for assistance, and I will see you at your timestamp below. Hello, charm number one, pile number one, stack number one, card deck number one. This is for you. I'm not quite sure what symbols these are, but I just thought this was a really interesting charm, especially that's honestly, it's been hidden for me for a while. I have not seen this guy in a minute, and just randomly the other day I recognized that it popped up in my jewelry drawer or my jewelry container, and I was like, wow, I have not seen this in a while. So I definitely felt a call to use this one today. So that's very interesting. So maybe even that can be a symbol for something that either if you have been missing something in your life or not necessarily seeing something in your life, that it could be a time of just either really not looking for it if you are on the hunt for something specific. It's just allowing the universe to provide without having expectation, or allowing it to pop up without your direct control, right? Like sometimes we have to release control in order for things to come into our life, and I think that might be a great symbol for you. So I'm going to pull some oracle cards, and then we're going to get into the tarot, and I might pull some extra tarot cards, but currently it looks like this deck only had one. So let's see what we have here. What is the spirit animal spirit message for you at this time? So we have eagle, mastery. Yeah, interesting. I just got the instant flash of like something kind of being a little bit more worn and torn, or even like memorabilia. I get the feeling that there's some sort of like family heirloom, or like family crest, or something that's like, I just like keep getting the image of something kind of being old with little like dust on it, or something like that hasn't been found in a while, which is really interesting that I felt that from this. So maybe that's why I'm getting pulled to it, but it feels like something a little bit older, or something that needs to be kind of wiped off, or like even this just like mystical, magical family heirloom that like pops up all of a sudden, and it's like that gives you all the answers that you've been looking for. Let's hold on to that, but that just instantly is what I got from that. What is the moon message for you? We have the wolf moon and hunger. I like this. I like this for you, card number one. I mean, deck number one, pile number one, whatever you want to be called, charm number one. This is a craving, but in a way of like really assessing your desires. I think it's important for as a human race to have desires, to go for things that we really want. Because if we have no needs or desires or things that really call to us, like, what are we living for, you know? And it can become, I want to I want to also bring into the awareness, like, that can go into a negative connotation if you start to almost become the desire. And once you do that, it's like there can be a negative and positive side to really anything, but also like the word crave in general just keeps coming to mind. But if you start to almost attach yourself to this desire or craving, it almost becomes something that builds you into lack, where it's like, I need it so badly that you start to become a feeling of lack because you think, because you need it so badly, right? I hope that this makes sense. If you need it so badly, it almost redirects your essence and your being of sensing or feeling that you don't have it or you don't have enough of it. So it becomes this lack mentality. So I really want to address to pile number one, charm number one, that I feel like you could be reconnecting with a sense of yourself that has recently maybe even distanced yourself away from like addiction. I'm getting a real strong sense that there's like a practice that you've been trying to instill that pulls you away from an addiction. So I'm really getting the sense for that this pile may have been struggling in their past, and maybe even in a past life, and this could be something that has triggered in your current experience. And if you don't believe in past life, look to your childhood, like what things, substances, materials, energies were you addicted to that could also have been, very present in your current life and current experience. So past lives too, something that happened in your past life that caused you to feel a deeper attachment to something, which provided you a clear, like, ultimately using substances and stuff like that. Like, I personally don't have that type of addiction. I mean, we all have our own vices and stuff too, not to discredit any of those as well. Like, we live how we live. There's things that we have in this life that help us get by, and I like fully support what you need in this lifetime in order to live your best life. But if you become your addiction, then I feel like we need to look at that with a more attuned and aware eye and ask ourselves, like, why are we so attached to this thing, and start to be inquisitive, right? So in your past life, maybe something has happened where you felt that you needed something so intrinsically that it overcame your way of living. It overcame your natural state of flow. And in this life, maybe you had been picking up on similar energies that just haven't been serving you. And I think you've really been accomplishing the pulling away from that thing. Like, if you feel like I want to also note, like, this pile, I can sense a huge struggle. So if you feel like you have been struggling, know that it's because you're detaching from whatever thing that was holding you to that addiction, so to speak. So that could mean anything. And I feel like this pile, what I'm talking about. I don't have to go into that really, and it's not necessary, because the most important thing I want to acknowledge here is you are coming out on top of it. You are becoming so much stronger, and the reason it feels like a struggle right now is because your energy, it's like, how I'm seeing it is like, imagine like two molecules, right? And they've been merged. Well, okay, so one molecule, right? So it's been merged, and there's almost like this synthesis, or like osmosis, or whatever that term is, when they start to part, right? And they become two separate things. Like, I'm seeing the image of like these like molecules or atoms or energies that it's like they were so merged that the struggle, you are in this middle part right now, right? So like it feels uncomfortable. It feels like it's maybe the world, it could feel like the world is crashing around you, right? Or like, what the hell is happening? But it's because this, I want to keep saying osmosis, but someone correct me if that's absolutely probably not it, but like it's starting to separate and pull apart, and you're feeling that separation from, let's say this is your addiction and this is your highest self, right? So like they were merged at one point where it's like you identified only with this thing and you couldn't see past it. But Spirit is really saying it's so important right now that you acknowledge that this thing is separating, because you are becoming your highest and greatest self. This thing that's really been fueling you, because it's been pointing you in a new direction, is the reason why this feels like such a struggle, the reason why it feels difficult, and you're running into these things that just are a little uncomfortable right now. But trust and have faith and lean into your gratitude and understand that you're being directed towards something that's so much greater, so much better for you, because you absolutely deserve it. You have been hungry for this. Like, I just want to acknowledge like how powerful this card feels to me, because it's something you've been staying up all day, all night for years, trying to understand, trying to piece the puzzle together. But it's because your spirit has been directing you here, and now it's finally here. And because you're in this like uncomfortable state, you almost want to give up. And I feel that, like, I just want to say, like, you're doing such a great job. But honestly too, though, like, just a little bit longer. It's not that much longer. Just keep on with your faith and your gratitude, and acknowledge where you've come and where you've been, because you have the card of mastery. You're on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You guys, seriously, you are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So please, please, please keep in mind that you have so much strength and so much power, and you're attuning to a greater force that's been in a reckoning for you this whole time. And you deserve it to feel good and to feel in your power. And just because you were attached to this thing at one time doesn't mean you weren't in your power, and that you've never been in your power. You've always been in your power, but you're associating now yourself with something separate than that, because you understand that this doesn't serve you. You understand that this thing has served its purpose, but it's not supposed to go with you where you're headed, because where you're headed is so much greater than that. So, wow, really powerful. Seriously. You actually got 3 gateway cards. I think the only pile that did. So let's see the gateway messages here. Standing firm, opening to love, and embarking on adventures. Wow. Wow. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, 100%. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing that I'm feeling, but all of these really powerful energies of like coming into a deeper awareness, coming into an understanding that what's right for you is meant for you. And you have to kind of like separate yourself in the way of, I know what's right for me. I understand the challenges. Like, this guy is built, like, he's gotten to this pile, right? I feel like for some reason he lugged all of these stones just to understand that I have the strength to accomplish all of these things. I am noble, brave, and strong. He rolled all of these boulders up this hill. Look, he's above these houses and stuff. Like, he's above the skyline, right? So he rolled all of these boulders up this hill just to come out on top, just to prove to himself. Not that he's have to prove himself. I don't want to bring that into perspective, but to honor himself and understand that I am stronger because of this, and I can accomplish anything. I can set my mind to anything, and you're definitely on your way to doing that. And that the easiest way, if you feel like you're struggling, is just to remain in your heart space. My heart is open. If you feel like you're feeling a little off balance or struggling through the day, try to come back into that center point, right? The heart space is the middle point between the upper and the lower of the chakras in our system, is speaking energetically. So coming back into balance, the middle, the halfway, the in-between, right? Like, if you feel like that pulling apart is getting a little monotonous, just try to rest there in the uncomfortable. As hard as that can feel and seem, sometimes just sitting and resting there allows you to be able to build up enough strength to come back apart again, because the goal here, this is the goal. You're embarking on a new adventure. I savor the wonders of the world. And in order to be this up in the sky, adventurous, feeling, high on your own supply, where you don't necessarily need whatever that addiction is anymore, you are able to reach this just by allowing the space to feel the uncomfortable, because you're taking on this new role, this new caricature, this new archetype, this new ability to really go after, to really be in alignment with what fuels you. I want to say that it's to be in alignment with what fuels you, but to also acknowledge where you've come from, how you've gotten there. You definitely deserve it more than anybody right now. I feel like this pile is the people that, they see the outside world right now kind of moving around them, and they're like wanting to know why I can't be a part of this greater and bigger world. The Little Mermaid just hit the a whole new world that song. Excuse me. But seriously, like, really switching things, like, it's gonna be a whole different world and perspective once you like really release that thing. But it is a process. It's not going to happen easily. It's not going to happen quickly, but it is happening. And even if you aren't putting in so much effort, know that it's working in the background. So don't feel like you have to be hyper focused on this one thing constantly all the time, because it is working for you and not against you. And the tarot card, oh my God, look at her. This is absolutely the grounding force for you right now, the foundational, sustaining message. And the reason I say that is literally there's this thing, this eruption, this thing that's about to blow, but she is in such a blissed, natural state of beingness that it doesn't deter her from going where she's going, right? Like, she could try to run away as fast as she can, but she's like, in divine timing, things process through when they're supposed to process through, allowing the natural forces of nature themselves to do what they're going to do, work through the nature of my being, because I am connected to that which fuels me and what has fueled me. But it's behind her, right? Like, this thing that was supposed to, maybe if she is turned around looking at it and she's just waiting there for it to explode, like, there's a whole different perspective there, right? That's a whole different energy shift. But being confident and understanding that she is taken care of, she's taken care of herself, she has this walking stick, or like maybe it's to move brush out of her way, maybe move the thorns from where she's walking, but she's still going to be taking that unknown path, and she has this almost like tool. I don't even want to consider it a weapon. She has it as a tool because she knows there's a place and a time for when these things are needed, but she's only going to use it when she needs it. She's only going to use it to aid in her adventure, not as I need this because I need to protect myself in this way to move harm out of my way. It's I'm moving in this direction. Whatever I've come through has served its time, but I'm not going to face it and stand there and wait for this thing to explode. I'm gonna take my direction and trust that my path is leading me forward, because I am open and aware to all the new possibilities that are coming forward. But wands represent fire and this energy exchange of I feel fueled to do this thing that lights me up, this thing that I know has been calling to me, this thing that I've been craving for so long, and now the direction you're moving forward, and it's absolutely opening and paving the way for you to take on whatever aspect of yourself that you've really been waiting to channel and become and embody. Because again, here you have eagle as the mastery. This is the sign of mastery. So you really are channeling and coming into a deeper, stronger awareness of the strongest and most just empowered essence of yourself that you've been waiting for so long, and you definitely deserve it. So here we are at the last few breaths, and I just want to say that I am just so grateful to see the progress through your life. You have also number 11 here. Wow, just realized that. So high powered energy, high powered frequency. It is a culmination, and I will say honestly, I don't want to like get you so excited too, but I know that you also deserve this message, and I feel like you absolutely deserve to hear it, but it's I feel like gonna happen a lot quicker than you expect it to. So try to release expectation, but remember, sitting in that midway between sometimes is necessary to feel the uncomfortable. But I will leave that here with you, pile number 1. Thank you for tuning in, and sending you so much blessings and so much love. Hi, pile number 2, charm number 2. Welcome in. If you chose this charm, this will be your messages for the day, centered around hope and clarity. So let's see what we get. I do want to mention that this charm actually has something written on the back of it. So let's see what it is. It says, I communicate clearly and effectively. So that may resonate with you at this time as maybe being something you're working through, or something like, again, hope and clarity that's bringing into a deeper awareness of maybe the things that you really need to hear at this time. So let's see what we have. Pile number 1 had some pretty intense energy, and I just recently have made these, and this is a cleansing spray as well as an aura cleansing, energy cleansing smudge spray. So with hyssop and sage, and I just wanted to cleanse the space. I did a little bit just a minute ago, but since you're here, I cleansed the cards in the space for you. These will be also available on my Etsy shop, or if you're interested for a discounted rate, you can come to me directly and surpass some of the fees on there. So just message me if you're interested, and they smell super good, super powerful, honestly, to cleanse the energy. But into your decks, we have a spirit totem animal. Let us see what the message is for you. I like this vibrancy. Like right off the bat, like I'm just getting the hint with this too, because it taps into a speaking your truth, and this blue is such a throat chakra looking card to me. Like, I don't know if you also resonate with that at all, but if speaking your truth and owning a resonance of how you communicate more clearly, this could be a message for you at this time. Vibrancy. You're really trying to show out here recently. Oh my gosh. 1 second. Hey, silly. Hey. Sorry, my cat was in the closet. She was locked in there. She's like, what the heck is going on? Here, I'll let her out. Go. Go. I apologize about that. Yeah, just a little kitty cat message for you there. So maybe paying attention to something that's not necessarily clear for you at this time, which could be just a matter of you speaking up for something and really honoring yourself, because I really feel like, okay, so charm number 2, pile number 2, deck number 2. You guys are in for your hope and clarity, right? Like, I feel like your hopes recently have been in a higher expectation than normal. So like what you've wanted to receive, maybe even like from your immediate friend group or your community or whatever, you have been really hoping to be seen in a different light. Maybe you haven't been given as much credit as you would like, or maybe there's some sort of offering, or you know, like each okay, so in a community, each person has their own role and specific characteristic that benefits the all. Like, we all have our unique gifts, we all have our unique expression, and sometimes they're not exactly immediately seen. But just because they're not immediately seen doesn't mean that you have to over extravagant yourself, which meaning like, don't try so hard. Like, the people who will see you, they're going to see you, they're going to recognize you, but you also have to participate. So showing up for things, or just putting yourself out there in the way that's a natural state of flow, not a, you know, the peacock, it can be a showy type of bird, right? Like, they have this huge giant wingspan full of bright fluorescent colors and shimmery colors. I guess fluorescent maybe isn't the word, but fluorescent, if that resonates more with you. But like these vibrant colors that when they shimmy too, they shine in the light, and they kind of are what's the word? Iridescent, and they shine all these different colors, right? So you want to be seen in that light, and you have that vibrancy within you. Maybe you just haven't been getting enough credit for that thing. But again, I want to remind you, like, you have to be doing your part. You have to be sharing of yourself. If you're not sharing your gifts and your abilities and your unique, specific, abilities, then how are they going to see you, right? So if you want to be seen and you want people to acknowledge you, you have to speak up for yourself. You have to use that throat chakra, but in a way that allows others to really truly get the most genuine aspects of you. And you're going to radiate that in general because you have vibrancy here. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life, and more good things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. So important, so important. What does the Queen of the Moon want you to know? Blossoming. Yeah, 100%. Number 33 is such a powerful manifestation number 2, a great, powerful number for a unity and community. And I feel like a huge thing, a background message for you is centered around community. So if you have been a little bit less attached to a support system or identifying with your immediate community, you really have, you are stepping into, I want to address this card, you are stepping into a greater responsibility, but also because you're so ready for it. You've been preparing for it. Your energy is shining at this time, but it's the little seed that it's been trying to grow, and it's become this beautiful flower, and it's ready to be seen and smelt and felt and admired. And that is what you're becoming. You really have this innate ability right now to tap into a greater sense of beauty that people will see and feel, and not just an outer beauty. I want to acknowledge that too. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have this inner expression that's been needing to be shown and felt and seen within a greater societal expression. So if you are somebody who is maybe even like a fashion designer and you're trying to fit in with a group of musicians, like how are you going to meet them there, right? Like if you know your passions and desires relate in some way, but how are you going to communicate that so that you can also connect to them? How do you want to come into a space of relating and connection instead of, oh, I have these beautiful things to show you? Instead, it's coming from, I have this beautiful depth within me that I also see within you. And how are you making that connection with them? Is it because you're trying to be showy and show them like, oh, I have all of these beautiful things? Or is it because that deeper inner awareness inside of you is radiating through you, that people start to acknowledge the beautiful external things that you do have and that you're able to share? So yeah, I just want to acknowledge that because, okay, in numerology too, right? So like how I resonate with 3 in general, and the fact that it's 33 is just like a super powered information overload or powered number by that, right? So like 3 to me is the unifying of the separated of the 2 energies. So like the 1 has its unique expression. Then it wants to bond to be able to see itself in reflection to, again, as that 3, it comes together because 1 plus 2 is 3. And as that 3 comes together, I hope this all makes sense to you, but as that 3 comes together, it becomes that unity again. It's that 1 singular. The 1 becomes 2 so that it has that reflection. And in that reflection, there's only 1, right? Like if you're looking in the mirror, there's only 1 of you, even though it seems like 2, but you're seeing that as 1, right? And I hope that makes sense, but that's how I resonate with 3. So there's been a collective energy here of you trying to obtain a relationship in some form, aspect, shape, or form or another. And in this message, because it's for clarity and hope, I want to address that is happening for you. You're finding a stronger relationship with things, and people are acknowledging the power that you hold. People are acknowledging the beauty that's deep within inside you, that's deep inside you and within you, because like on the outside, of course, you're just, I naturally feel like this pile, you're probably a very beautiful person on the external too. So you probably have run into a lot of things in your past where people judge you just by how you look, but you know deep within you that you are so much more than that. And I think moving forward, the community that you're connecting to and that's in the works, that's flowing through you, they're acknowledging the deeper sense of who you are instead of just taking it by face value. And that's something that really fuels you. That's something that you've been desiring for so long, and congratulations, pile number 2, charm number 2, you are getting that, but you are blossoming. Again, I want to come back to this charm. You're blossoming from that flower. Here we have the lotus, here we have the term blossoming. You have been like coming out of this cocoon, so to speak, of people really acknowledging you for who you are, but it's because you're communicating your boundaries, you're communicating what you deserve, and you're also communicating with yourself of how you want to be acknowledged. You have this beautiful vibrancy that needs to be seen, but it also is coexisting with this beauty that's inside of you. So what is the gateway message? Igniting courage. Okay, so I am strong, valiant, and courageous. For you, I really, I want to go back again, that powerful hitting message of you have such innate strength within you that needs to be seen, that has been waiting to be seen and acknowledged. And the recognition that you're getting from your community is really fueling you, and you so deserve it, because you have been on this long, treacherous journey of just, I feel like you've been seen for the external things in your life, and now you're really winning in the form of this powerful essence within you. Courage is a deep strength that comes through in a way of you can only feel courageous when you have a acknowledgement or support system, or feeling fueled by something bigger than you. And that bigger essence than you right now is a sense of community and connection, and they are really cheering you on, and they are really wanting to see you in this light. But you also have to be the one to get on the back of the horse to ride that wave, right? So continue to ride the wave, continue to hop on that horse every single time, and acknowledge that you've been on a long journey, right? Like, I know that this pile has, and it's been an internal battle, probably a lot of here and there internal battles back and forth. So it's coming out into an external realization of people seeing you for the strength and stability and nobility that has been inside of you all along, and you're ready to share it with the world. Oh, you got it in reverse. Oh, this is good. Okay. So tarot card, it's the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords in the reversal for you. I really feel, again, there's this like long battle that has been weighing on you, and you are finally getting to a point of, okay, I can either sit here and allow people to misjudge me, or I can stand up for myself and take the lead and take the acknowledgement of my inner, deeper strength that is being shown now and is ready to be shown. It's like, it, again, been in this cocoon, and it's just all of a matter of acknowledging with yourself and speaking up for yourself and addressing that, okay, I am actually going to take the reins here. I'm going to be the one in control, because enough is enough. Time to move on, time to let go of those limiting thoughts and beliefs, because you really are ready to step into this vibrancy. You really are stepping into a greater sense of awareness of the power and the beauty that coexist on not only the outside but the inside. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you. Pile number 2, charm number 2. I hope that resonates, and I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings. Take care. Hello, card deck number 3, pile number 3, charm number 3. This is going to be your message for the day, relating around hope and clarity. So let's see if we can bring in some of those deeper awarenesses for you at this time. I am going to cleanse this space. I have a new smudge spray that I've made. It's to purify and stimulate. Cleanse the space and the cards for you, as well as myself, to bring in new energy that is going to hopefully be clear and resonant to you at this time. So if you've chose this pile or this charm, these are your messages. You chose this beautiful little gold bee charm, which is super, super sweet. When I was tuning into this deck, the first word that came out was sustenance. So let's see if we can get some more clearer messages, but if that word resonates, let me know. What is your animal spirit, the spirit animal guiding you at this time? Wow. Immediately, wow. And I will clarify why I'm saying that. But this is powerful. This is good. I also get a sense of liminal space here. I just got a very, like, it came through my belly, my gut, almost into my lungs too, of just this, just like almost, I don't want to say pause, but liminal space in a way. And I don't want that to sound daunting in any way, but it's powerful. Wow, pile number 3. Sustenance. Okay. So what I mean by this as liminal, sustenance, powerful. So white stag, it's symbolized as the protector, but white stag has been known to be a very spiritual, very mystical message. So immediately this pile, I feel like there's you, oh my gosh, it's just so deep that I can't even, like, you will know if this pile is for you. You just immediately, I feel, oh my gosh, you guys. I feel immediately you will know if this pile is for you. That powerful, liminal, almost very esoteric space. I don't even want to say almost, it is esoteric and mystical. So the white stag, again, has been known to appear to spiritual guides, or like if you are a healer or a spiritual, like you feel like you could be a spiritual guide for others, or like maybe even like shamanism. It's definitely in shamanism. So like a very multi-dimensional person or essence, or you're interested in these things. Like the white stag has been known to show up for these people. So in your dream space, or maybe you'll get images, or like literally in nature, if you see this message is for you, because it really attaches a potency, the sustenance. This makes so much more sense now, but like the bee in general, like has so much duty and responsibility, but also like stays in this liminal space of knowing what it's for and what it does, its abilities, its purpose, its standing, its awareness to the greater and the all. And that's kind of what the stag represents too, because the bee has sometimes only a singular job to do, and that job is to help the hive and the why am I blanking on this right now? Y'all are all gonna think I'm crazy, but the mother bee, whatever her name is, right? So like they have that job to build onto this thing, because they have a deeper awareness and a greater sense to all of nature itself. So you guys, very powerful. And you also are the only deck that got 2 moon cards, and the Queen of the Moon wants you to know. Oh, wowie. So many liminal spaces here. This is interesting. And what I mean by that is like, it's not necessarily even an in-between. It's like you're all places at once in a way, but also in an in-between space, but also like so open. It's so able to receive. And this is definitely the clarification of that. So you have boundaries and surrender. I'm going to speak on this a little bit. So boundaries obviously are something most of us struggle with identifying with, but I feel like for you guys, it has been the work that has got you here, and you've been able to understand it. You've been able to now identify it. It's like, well, what do people mean when they say boundaries? And you guys have integrated it. That clarity is here. This is the clarity for you right now. If you feel like, maybe I don't really know if I can say that I have boundaries, like stop questioning yourself, like at all. Questioning yourself is going to do less for you, because you've made it this far and you've identified with what that is. Just believe that you know what your boundaries are, and that they come and they show themselves more clearly when it's necessary. So we don't always have our boundaries up. That's not the point of boundaries. What the point of boundaries is when we can acknowledge that something is right for you or something's not right for you. And it's just as simple as that, a tuning in and addressing what makes sense for you. And you've definitely been getting all of the support to tap into that greater awareness for yourself. So congratulations on there. But with that too, like going hand in hand, honestly, you have to have a greater sense of boundaries to be able to surrender. Because we don't just openly surrender and just open ourselves to things that aren't good for us, right? Like you've done the work to understand that you are your own sense of protection. There's protector here, there's boundaries here. She's in a bubble, but she's also able to be in this very vast, every place, every dimension at once, but also in such an in-between space that allows her, him, she, they, them to receive in a greater expanded essence. So you guys, I want to keep reiterating that this pile, you will know if this is for you, because maybe you've even been going on medicine journeys or a deeper spiritual journey, and maybe you want to experience a medicine journey. So whatever that means to you, maybe that's something you want to consider. You have been considering. The hope and clarity of this reading is here to acknowledge that yes, you are ready. You've absolutely done the work to get here. You're able to surrender to a greater expression. If you have been really been wanting to tap into maybe your gifts or your soul's purpose and your journey, like it's just becoming so clear for you now. The only thing that I see as being the main key role and player here is you gaining the confidence, honestly, the courage. No, it's you have the confidence. It's the courage to continue to open those doors and surrender to a greater expression that is definitely here for you. You are protected. You have the white stag. The white stag is so powerful. It's so, again, mystical and magical. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. Pardon me. Let's see. What is the gateway messages? I could go on and on about how powerful this is, but I hope that that resonates with you. Yeah, my God, you guys, this is definitely for you. You will know if this deck is for you. So with hope and clarity here, you are absolutely, you've done the work. You are creating such a beautiful life for yourself as well as the people around you. And you know, you are somebody who absolutely knows that it can't start in the external. It has to start in the internal. And you've done that work. You understand. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't, this pile is for you in a parallel reality that your heart and your soul is wanting you to connect to. So just trust that too. But if you are on this timeline and this is the thing that just absolutely makes sense for you, just take this as continual confirmation and acknowledgement that Spirit really is trying to press into you at this time. So they really are supporting you. I think it's really worth acknowledging that you can connect to your spirit guides in a very unique and special way right now, that they want you to continue communication. So even though you've done so much work and you feel like you're on your own, or like, okay, I got this, my boundaries are set, I know how to communicate, like I got this, still come back to your spirit guides and ask for support, ask for protection, because your journey is supposed to go so much deeper, so much more advanced. Like I just feel like this pile is trying to advance in so many different ways, and you are, because what's really happening here, the gateway message, the thing that's moving you forward, is you're manifesting your dreams and your desires. You have this fruitful basket here that's really been cultivated, and you're still continuing. Like even though you've manifested that thing doesn't mean you're going to stop manifesting. Like we're always manifesting beautiful things for ourselves, but the flow of energy here is that it's such a flow of energy. You have this support from the universe that's really providing this grounded energy. You've done the work to be able to continue to give and exchange. You have this equal balance of receiving and giving, and it's time for you to continue to receive and know that it's worth it. And I mean, know that you're worthy of it and you deserve it. And just because maybe you and your immediate community or reality could be benefiting, what seems like you're benefiting more from this time frame than others. Try not to get down on yourself. Just surrender to that you've done the work and this is meant for you. And just because others might not be receiving what you're receiving right now doesn't mean that it needs to take away from your experience. Doesn't mean that you are hoarding all of the energy right now, because you're not, because everybody has their own divine timing and things are always shifting, and you know that it's never always like this, right? But as much as you can lean into it, it can be, and it's definitely worth the effort to continue that cycle. But know that, you know, people have their own things that they have to experience in order to go through what they need to go through, so that they can also reach this, and then you can fuel each other with that. But you have to radiate this so that others can say that it's possible. You may be somebody who is a representation for other people. You may be a key role player right now that is holding the space, holding the channel for others to say that it's okay to release and let go of things that don't serve me, so that they can get here. They will catch up. I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say that. Sorry, scratch that. They will come into an awareness that you are in too, and it's just because they have to do a little bit more deep diving. But really stay in your gratitude. I want to acknowledge that the more you stay in your gratitude, the less you become the more you're able to stay humble, and the less you're feeding into your ego self. Because if you're, you know, I definitely don't think this is you guys, but for an example, to put you in retrospect to where you are, like, you could be gloating around everybody around you that's miserable, like that. You would have no empathy if you did that, right? Like, I feel like this pal absolutely has so much empathy, and that's why you're here. It's because you've done the work. You've done the work, you've done what you needed to do, at least at this portion of your experience and point in time, right? Like, just hold on to your gratitude. That will remove your ego self from attacking you, thinking that you're not worthy, because you are worthy. You know the challenges it has taken you to get here, and you know what it takes to get to this space. But remain in your gratitude, and this space may last longer, so much more. It may stand the test of time, and I feel like you absolutely deserve that. We have a tarot card, so let's see what we got. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, sorry, my cough is just like horrible right now. You have the Ace of Cups, you guys. Like, how much more clear can this reading be? Again, you will know that this reading is for you 100%, because you are feeling so full. You're feeling so nurtured, and your sense of connection, the flow, the resonance with the universe, spirit, divine, all of the things are just so supportive right now for you. And you've done so many wonderful things to get here, so many hard, difficult things to get here. I want to acknowledge too, like, your path has not been easy at all, but you absolutely deserve all of the fruitful things that the universe is supporting you right now, because you have the Ace of Cups. And that is just a pouring, look, they're coming from a different space. This isn't a connected space. This person is pouring out into another space because they have plenty. They know that if they go back to wherever they've come from, wherever they're reaching out from, they know they have plenty in order to sustain or pour into others. So it is a natural state for you right now to come back into, again, that boundaries is so important, to come back into a state of taking care of self. So remember to continue to fill your cup. If you need to like take breaks and do self-love practices, like, make sure you're filling your cup before you pour them out to others, because it's super necessary for you right now to acknowledge that, yeah, it's been a freaking journey, and you've been pouring from an empty cup for so long that that's not the mode, it's not the way of being right now. And it's absolutely going to pay off if you know, come back into this other side and continue to replenish this thing so that you can pour out for others. And I know that makes sense for you, that I don't have to clarify. Pardon. And I know that I don't have to clarify any further of that with you, because again, this pile knows, you know, you absolutely know this pile is for you. So take this as all confirmation that your hope and clarity for whatever you've been processing, the universe is absolutely supporting you right now, and I just want to congratulate you. So again, White Stag, you have the protection and the support and all of the beautiful things coming in from the universe and the divine for you right now. And I just want to say that you have such a beautiful journey ahead of you, and you're doing amazing things for the collective. Just stay on with what you're doing and try not to get in your head about having so many beautiful things right now. Like, that's the opposite of why the universe has worked so hard to bring these things into your life. They want you to feel good. They want you to understand that it's time for you to celebrate yourself, and you definitely deserve it. So I want to leave these messages here for you. I'm sending you so many blessings, so much love and support, and here with you as the collected consciousness. And yeah, blessings, guys.